Hi there, and welcome to the waiting room. Well, you may have been expecting one of our regular devotionals. However, I have come to the conclusion that after 553 devotionals since the advent of COVID, it was time to shake things up a little bit. Frankly, I was having a difficult time trying to find things to write about often because I found myself repeating myself. And this is frustrating to say the least. So I decided to reconsider all of this and try to reconsider a way to encourage people while we wait. Because after all, we are Advents. And the whole point is that we wait. We're waiting for the second coming of Christ. But while we wait, it should be important that we note that we are not supposed to just sit on our laurels and do nothing. So this is going to encourage us to not only deal with some of the things that I have been dealing with in my devotionals and the last couple of years, but also to talk about things that should encourage us to continue to wait in a very, very productive manner. Well, first I'd like to talk about the fact that we have these scriptures that tell us to wait on the Lord. For example, Psalm 27:14, wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. See, waiting is one of God's favorite tools to get our attention. In some ways, the Bible's title, as one person said, could be called The Great Wait. And then some wit decided to say, well, the cast of characters could then be called The Great Waiters, but that sounds like a dinner theater. Think about it. Noah waited for the rain. Daniel waited through the night with a den full of lions. David waited in a cave. Abraham and Sarah waited 25 years for their, promised son, Isaac, after waiting an entire lifetime to even get the promise in the first place. And it goes on. I mean, you could just go through the entire Bible that way. Joseph waited 13 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit. Moses waited 40 years to be called by God. Paul waited a lot in prison. And even Jesus waited 30 years to begin his ministry, though he was well equipped, I'm sure, long before that. If you think about it, the Bible itself has two great waits in it. The first is that the Israel's wait for the promised Messiah, and then after Jesus came and left, now we wait for his return. If God even asked Jesus to wait, and he did, then why do I think he would speed up the process for me? See, here's what I love about the fact that we have all these many, pardon the expression, great waiters in the Bible. See, with the exception of Jesus, they were all flawed. They were people, just like you and me, just trying to please God, like we do, often falling short. I mean, some of them got it, but most of them didn't, which kind of comforts me since I usually don't get it either. These great waiters were no better at waiting than I am, and I hate to wait. There's nothing worse for me than going to the doctor's office and sitting in the waiting room. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Waiting is a universal weakness. We have to wait. What do the Bible stories about the great waiters show us about waiting? Well, what did they do when they waited? Well, Noah waited for the rain, but he got busy with what he had and a lot of wood and some specific measurements. As Daniel waited, he remained faithful in prayer and firm in his convictions. Of course, while Joseph waited in prison, he didn't waste his energy on the question, why? Though I will imagine he asked that word, he didn't let it drain him with dead ends and non-answers, and it certainly didn't make him unproductive. Instead, we sense he focused his sights on answering, well, what do I do now? He did his best with each small task given to him, and he stayed close to God. As his situation began to turn around, he was ready for every opportunity because, frankly, he hadn't wasted his time while he waited. And if you look at it, I mean, Job, David, Paul, and even Jesus waited patiently and began the ministry God called each of them to do, caring for the people around them. Here's what I see in all of these stories. There is always work to be done while we're waiting. Sometimes the work is hands-on and physical, and other times it's a solitary journey of soul-searching. Sometimes the work is a discipline of noticing, a practice of being alert and aware, just having the right focus. Sometimes it's about being just plain patient and loving and present and not worrying about a future we can't know. But you see, the thing is, when we choose to surrender to the moment, when we seek to believe this moment, that's a part of a larger story, and we begin to embrace the ache of longing. See, we wait, but the wait is part of the journey, and it's never wasted. The Lord enters the journey for those who wait. So, as we wait, may we continue to trust Him as He reveals Himself to us along the way. And let us be poised and ready for every opportunity to be busy while we wait. Because after all, we don't have to wait forever. I hope you found this educational, or at the very least entertaining. There will be many changes over the course of the next few weeks. Don't be surprised if they're not posted regularly, but semi-regularly. I want you to know, of course, that I'm here should you need me. If you have any commentary, please feel free to add it to me or send it to me. I want you to know that I'm praying for you all, and I love you all. Wait well.